Guys, Realme just released the most affordable and strongest phone ever. It's waterproof. They left this phone inside water for 3 days, and after 3 days, it is still working. It is fall proof. They dropped this phone at different heights and it survived with just a little scratch. And they even washed this phone inside a washing machine, and when they brought it out, it still survived. Like, this phone has every type of proof a smartphone can have, right? And if you're wondering what Realme phone is this, then this is the Realme C75, the everything proof budget phone. But before you rush and go and buy this phone, like I always tell you in all my videos, now for the fact that the phone has a mind-blowing feature does not mean that phone is good for you. There are other things that still make up a phone, okay, which I'll be explaining in my video, from the design, the body build, the camera, the performance, and all. So all you need to do is to watch the video to the very end to find out if this phone is the phone for you. And guys, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up if you love what you're about to hear. And also, if you're a fan of tech and gadget reviews, I'm sure you will want to click on the subscribe button below and turn on the bell notification icon, because that is what I do right here on my channel. So guys, let's get started with everything about this amazing smartphone, the Realme C75. We'll be starting with the Realme C75 selling point, which is design and the body build. This phone is ultra durable. The Realme C75 is a military standard MIL STD 810H certified, which means it has been tested to survive drop from different heights, shock, and also harsh condition. Now, on top of that, it also has IP69 rating for water and dust resistance. Now, this is actually the highest level of protection when it comes to a smartphone for the water and dust resistant. So you can actually submerge your phone underwater and it's going to survive. As you can see on your screen, this person, he submerged his phone underwater for 72 hours, which is 3 days. And after 3 days, he brought it out. This phone still works like nothing happened. Can you try this with that phone you're using to watch this video now? And let me know in the comment section if that phone you're using to watch this video can survive this. One of my budget phones is that really make a compromise on one particular feature, which is mostly the display. Right, but Realme did a very good job on the Realme C75. This phone is a 6.72-inch Full HD display and accepts 1080p resolution with a 90 Hz refresh rate. This means you're getting a sharper, a clearer picture with a smoother scrolling compared to 60 Hz refresh rate screens. Now, let's talk about the brightness. This phone supports just 690 nits highest brightness. What does this mean? So if you're indoors, you can really press this phone very well. But when you go outside under the sun, right, or in a very bright environment, you can barely see your screen. Yes, because currently we have about phones with around 1300 brightness, 17 brightness, and this just has 690. Guys, this is a budget phone. You should not expect it to, have every single thing like, a flagship phone or, an expensive phone should have. I'll talk about the price later on and you see why this phone is a very budget-friendly phone. So for the native brightness, if this is the only problem you're going to see on this phone, then I don't think it's a problem. Now, for its durability, it makes use of the armor shell tempered glass, making it more resistant to scratches and minor drops. Now, this is one of the reasons why, with all the whole drops we saw, right, it still survived it. Even when it was put inside the washing machine, it still survived with just little scratch and no damage to the phone itself. So far, this display and also the body build is actually the best I have seen on a smartphone within this price. Even most smartphones more expensive than this, the display and the body build is better than those smartphones. But let's check out other things like the performance. The Realme C75 is rocking the MediaTek Helio G92 Max chipset. Now, this is actually a budget processor. With this, you can handle your day-to-day tasks very well. Okay, you can, just scroll to your social media, WhatsApp, Instagram, and the rest of them very well. But now, if you're a heavy gamer, trust me, this processor will not handle your games very well. Now, it can actually handle just decent games, but pro gamers like Call of Duty, maybe PUBG and the rest of them, even though it handles it, it may get to kind of lag to some extent. All right, so it is not for pro gamers. Okay, besides, if you're a pro gamer, you should not be looking at getting a budget phone because there is specifically phones for gaming, or if you want a normal phone you can use for every other thing, it's going to be more expensive than what we have on the Realme C75. It makes of 8 gig RAM and it can also be extendable to 16 gig RAM. Okay, and now for the storage, it has the 128 gig storage variant and also the 256 gig storage variant just for Nigerians. So let's say you are probably in other part of the world, this Realme also has the 512 gig variant. So whichever region you are getting this phone, just so you can get either the 128 or the 256 and probably the 512 gig variant, okay? And now, if that 256 gig is not enough for you, it comes with, a micro SD card slot. So it means you can just buy, memory card, put it there and enjoy, whatever you want to do with more space. For the battery and charging, this is another place where the Realme C75 also stands out. So this one came out with 5,825 mAh. Let's just call it 6,000 mAh. And this battery is even bigger than that of your flagship devices, the Samsung S25 Ultra and even the iPhone 16 Pro Max. This phone has a bigger battery than it. This means that this phone can last you for a whole day if you are actually using it for your day-to-day activities. Now, for the charging, this makes use of 45 watts fast charging. You can charge this phone from 0 to 100% within an hour. Like, this is really impressive for a budget phone. Come on, I talked about the Itel S25 Ultra, which gave out only 18 watts charging. Even I also talked about the Itel P70, also 18 watts charging. But this phone here has, 45 watts charging, more than times two of what some other phones are giving out on their charging speed. This is very impressive for the Realme C75. Now for the cameras, how good are they? What can these phones take? The Realme C75 comes out with a 50MP main camera along with a secondary sensor, and for selfies, it makes use of an 8MP front camera. Now, the truth is, whatever MP a phone has does not mean, the phone can take good pictures. The iPhone 16 Pro has around 48MP, right? And it's one of the phones with the best cameras you can find as of today. And this has 50MP. That does not mean the Realme is better than the iPhone 16 Pro or Pro Max. Now, regardless of the MP, I think this phone takes decent pictures. Now, for the software and other features, the Realme C75 packs. The Realme C75 runs on Android 14 with Realme UI 5.0. This means you get better battery management, improved privacy controls, and a refreshed UI design. And for the security, it has a side-mounted fingerprint sensor, which is faster than the in-display fingerprint sensors and most convenient than the rear-mounted ones. So, how much is this phone? It has two variants like I talked about, which is the 128 gig and the 256 gig. For the 128 gig, you're going to spend around 210,000 naira to get this phone. Yes, but if you're going for the 256 gig, you're going to spend around 230 to probably 250,000 to get this phone. Now, you see why I talked about this phone being a budget-friendly phone, yet still being a very, very durable and a very good smartphone to go for this year. So now, with 230,000 naira, is the Realme C75 worth you buying? Well, before I give my final verdict, I want you guys to know that I've started sharing more smart tips on other platforms, my TikTok, my Facebook, my Instagram. Yes, and those smart tips I share over there, they are kind of videos I cannot just post it because of how short they are. I talk about probably how to get free data, what is MTN doing to us now, Airtel and the rest of them, how to get the best data, WhatsApp tips, just everything about your smartphone, everything about tech, everything about gadgets. I'll be sharing those tiny details of those smart tips over there on those platforms. So all you need to do is check out the description box of the video to go and click on any of those links, my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok. You're going to see all those videos over there. And not just that, I'll also be doing giveaways on those platforms. Yes. And it's for only my most active followers. So go and also engage on those pages. Okay. Now back to my final verdict. will I be going for this Realme C75 if I had just to spend on a smartphone? Well, my answer is yes. Now, why do I say so? I won't be going for this phone as like my daily drive because I really need a phone with power, enough processor for my edits. I need a phone with a very wonderful camera because currently I am shooting this video on my S23 Ultra, my Samsung S23 Ultra. All the videos I see on this channel, most of them were shot on my S23 Ultra. So I need a phone, that can shoot me amazing views like this, which the Realme C75 does not offer. Okay, but if I want to get like a second phone to also handle some other things, then this phone is going to be right on my mind. Okay, so if you're going for this phone, probably have, let's say, a friend or a sibling or maybe your parent that usually kind of drop their phone recklessly or something, then this phone is going to be very, very good for them because no matter how they drop it, this phone will not break. Even if they forget it inside water for 3 days, this phone is still going to work. Okay, and if that sibling or that friend eventually damage this phone once you get it for them, honestly, that friend can actually damage an armor tank because this phone has like a military grade protection to survive harsh conditions, falls despite the height and shock. So let me in the comment section if you're going for this phone, if you have around 30 to spend on a smartphone. Okay, I want to hear your thought. All right, and we'll see you guys in the comment section as we discuss on if you're going for this phone or probably you have another phone in mind. Guys, if you want me to talk about phones under, let's say, the best phones to buy under 150k, best phones to buy under 250k, best phones to buy under 350k, let me in the comment section. I will also create that video just for you. Okay, so guys, I'll be seeing my next video as we discover the smart online tips.